Welcome to Emuna is our future. It's Emuna with our future. Yes, we have a future every day. Such a gift. We're back to basics. That's today's class. We're going back to basics, everyone. So all of us need to get a little bit aired out after such a beautiful Yom Tov. And we have to thank Hashem for 2 special days this year in Eretz Yisrael as well. We had Yom Tov Shavuot and we had Shabbos. So for our friends out there, it was 2 days. Peace, man. And we're going to try not only thank Hashem for all those special moments we had, but we're now going to go through the tough moments that unfortunately come out of Yom Tov and there's just this fire going on in the world. And remember that the ultimate truths, what are the truths? Not the troops, the truths. The truths. The MS. The real clarity of vision of what life's about that we got from Kabalos HaTorah, from Matan Torah, from receiving this inspiration, this new light of renewal in our learning and our relationship with God. This we got. We're going to bring it how we can bring it into our life and go through those tough moments. Once again, the Wi-Fi is Nishdor, it's not here. So the internet's going to be a little bit lebedik. But you know what, you guys, we get the Breslov podcast, Breslov Israel Emuna is our future podcast coming out. So you can tune into the audio. It's always easy for me on like one of these Apple things, or whatever way you listen to your podcasts, or you can listen to it on Spotify. Thank God everything goes through now to Spotify. Put up a new album on Spotify. Personally, it's about being together. It was written and performed 2002, and you guys can find it under Eli Goldsmith, Midnight Rabbi, or Together. And also Elion. It's gone live on Spotify. My good friend Eliezer Kosoy, Kosoy, and it's no audio. Ooh. This is no audio. I don't believe it. You can hear me. You just got to listen carefully. Okay, so what we're saying is today is not only do we have the audio platform, and not only we have, thank God, the edited YouTube video, which thank God came out perfect timing before Shavuos, and there wasn't enough views on it. I want you guys to go back and listen to the previous, or watch even better, on YouTube, like, share, get into that energy of what Shavuos is about, so that now we've tapped into that energy, and it's an energy which is applicable the whole year round. Because what makes the Jewish people what we are is that we had that revelation on Har Sinai. Not only are we kind people, hopefully, and we're merciful people, and we're people that are able to experience true shame when something doesn't work out the way we want, but we're also able to tune into that experience on a daily level, literally on a daily level, to Kabalos HaTorah, to what happened on Shavuos. Those truths, those values, that moral guidance the world itself is crying for nowadays. It's crazy. Just watch online the discussions, like what happened to basic moral values that my mum, she wasn't so religious a lady, and she isn't so religious lady yet, but she knows values. Like, she grew up in a world where there was, self-respect and understanding of how people should behave towards each other, and obviously there's respect to other people's properties, and basic stuff, when we receive a Torah and you go into the Torah and you look at the details, thousands and thousands of halachas and guiding teachings of truth, you could literally envelop yourself in the Yam, the sea of Torah, and you see what it is. That for sure will give you the guiding light how to be a good person in the world. I mean, we're not saying everyone who has the Torah is a good person. We have an evil inclination that can take those teachings and that power it gives you, and God forbid use it for wrong things, like anything that's energized. But the ultimate truth is that once you've connected yourself to Torah, and this itself, it says in Rabbi Nachman's Sefer, Rabbi Nachman ben Feiga, Rabbi Nachman ben Simcha, his merit should protect us, that he writes in his Sefer, Meshivas Nofesh, a beautiful Sefer, Restoring the Soul. It's a Sefer which a lot of my friends, and personally I spent many early mornings back in the day when I was a bit more, easy to just immerse myself in Torah. I remember learning there, and it gave me encouragement for some of our friends. Good morning, yes, people, amen. People are giving blessings of simcha and joy. that there was this power of Torah that once you've connected into Torah, you guys are listening. We're listening to the class. Hopefully I didn't knock the mic. You guys are listening and learning Torah. Hopefully you're going to open up a book and read the Torah. You can open up the Garden of Emuna series, which reminds me we have to thank Rabbi Shalom Arush for hosting us in this beautiful studio on Yerushalayim or Kodesh on this beautiful day after Shavuos. We're in the Yom Tashlumim. It's Parshas and we had a very inspirational time. So once you've tapped into that Torah, once you've even just read a little bit, even learned a letter, it says in Pirkei Avos, one letter that David HaMelech was taught, that one letter gives a power to call that person that taught you that one letter a Rebbe, a master. So there's a certain power of learning, says Rabbi Nachman, that gives you a connection to eternity that you are now never ever going to be distracted or pulled away from. Somehow or another, that Torah that was planted in you is going to now grow and give energy to your good inclination, your soul level that we spoke about last week, this unified soul that we're part of. It's going to give that energize and that power and that motivation and that encouragement that no matter what, no matter how wild the world's going and how crazy the coronavirus has caused the Shem Shemenu, the challenge there to create this whole economic seemingly hard time. Right now personally you don't know what's going to be next few months. The booking business has gone a bit and the musicians out there having a hard time, and the performers, the entertainment industry my family are in, and all the other industries, and the hotel business and the airlines and the tourist industry, and go on and on and on. But what gives you that foundation of connection, like we said, Emuna, but also that planting that seed of Torah inside you, gives you the power to energize yourself no matter what. No matter what. You're always going to find your way back. And that's always been the blessing, that if you've ever wondered hey, what's going to be with that guy, out there who's, not so religious looking, like we said, obviously the external stuff is not where it's at. But just say he used to have a beard and now he doesn't, and he used to have payots and then he doesn't. And then, but personally I do have payers if you would like to see one day, they're underneath. I just don't bring them out. But say he used to this, and he used to walk around with the Torah, and he used to speak about rabbis all the time and be very inspired of Judaism, and then now he's not. And he was a famous guy, and he's not. We don't have to say names. But the point is that you start to think, what's going to be with that guy? Yeah, remember, I got my sanitizer just in case you're worried. So what's going to be with that guy? So the answer obviously is that the Torah inside that he learned once, even one time. I mean, he actually learned a lot of Torah, the person I'm thinking of. But there are many people, and I actually pray for that soul all the time. I say under my breath, that person, there should be a merit for him, that the Torah that he learned will elevate him and elevate everything he's doing, because that's an eternal connection. Once you've learned something spiritual from God's mind, you're internally attached to God. So the answer is, well, everybody can learn now. It's online. You just listen to a Nissan Black song on Spotify and you already learned some Torah. Or you listen to a Shlomo Kalibach song and a Kalibach shul, whatever it is, you're going to hear any kind of saying from Rabbi Nachman, or all our kind of Emuna posts. Yeah, that's what's happening. You're attaching yourself to Torah. So say, but what about all the thousands of other things that people do and listen to, and all the stuff that might be, God forbid, like apikosis, kafira, things that are against belief in God. Thank God there are people out there who believe in God generally, just as just an inner truth. They believe in a creative universal force that's running everything, or through the whole recovery world, there's a certain recognition they need a higher power to and we all need it. not just saying that word, I need it also. The higher power to help us overcome our addictions and our follies. So, there's a certain awareness of reality, with business now. Nobody's saying, with my mighty hand, like Trump was saying before at one point. Well, I'm not getting political, I'm just saying he did say these words publicly, that he says a lot of things, but he said that the idea that we have a power to the American economy, and bottom line, what happened? We see that it's been switched around. Not saying that I'm saying which way to go, but the point, when you get overly confident, no matter who you are, there's always going to be that now stumble, because God Himself wants to keep us on an even keel, wants to remind us who's the boss, and He will remind us, and He's reminding the world very clearly right now. But we want it to happen in a positive way. We want it to happen with love. And that's why, once again, by focusing in into the Torah aspect, there's only love. With Torah, there's only love and connection. There is an aspect of yira, of fear, and we spoke about that last week and the week before. When you're praying, you're doing it with love and fear, and you're going up, and fear really represents awareness and awe of the power of the Creator and the awesomeness of creation. Like I myself, I look at some of these YouTube videos of like Niflos Abora, these or YouTube travelers. Right now, they're not so much traveling, but the ones when they were, and you see these beautiful places like Antarctica, or these beautiful blue lagoons around Greece, and all these islands, the Philippine Islands, all these unbelievable places. Or even Eretz Yisrael, even in the Holy Land itself is a beautiful, beautiful land. It's probably the one when it's going to be in its full blooming. It's the most beautiful land in the world. If you're able to just look, right now there's a video playing on Foreign Industry for whatever it's called, Foreign Ministry of Israel, playing right now on Facebook, and it's a very beautiful video when you see Eretz Yisrael, how beautiful this land is. It's a land of chalav v'dvash, of milk and honey, and it has a bountifulness that we haven't even seen the fullness of it yet. But even in our exile state, we're still seeing how it's all coming forth as the people return and build, and the love for the land, the love for Hashem, and the love for Torah, and the love for the Jewish people and the world. It grows from that Emuna is causing a sprout forth in the land, in the high-tech world even. And the high-tech can also have a certain beauty to it if it's used for the right ways and the right reasons. And like we're doing right now, we're trying to do these live feeds even without Wi-Fi, and it's still working. Isn't that amazing? So the phone lines are good enough right now, and the video is going to be edited, and the audio is going to go out, and you guys can share it. And that's the idea, that we're planting seeds wherever we go, and we're causing a sprouting and a revival, unbelievable energy of back to basics. So now we've had our intro, because this all just was an intro. What does it mean now practically? Let's just breathe a minute. Mindfulness here. What does it mean to go back to basics? What does it mean? So what I would suggest, and I spoke about this with my soulmate today, is the power of simplifying everything. Just keeping things very, very basic and simple. Not making Judaism too complicated, or making spirituality overly complicated, or making the whole current crisis in the world with all these theories complicated, or right now all the chaos in America complicated. Don't overcomplicate your life. Don't pay too much attention to the media. I'll give you an example. A good friend. I wish he was a good friend, but I hold of him as a friend because we've had a lot of time together on the audios and things online. But on a real level, I met him only once when he came to Israel to do a volleyball competition. He's not a Jewish guy, but once again, we're Emuna. It's all the whole world's got Emuna. We're into connecting to everyone on a universal level. So this guy called Lewis Howes, who I'm a fan of, let's say, he's a very positive guy. Not overly complicated, not like genius like Ben Shapiro, or like one of these guys like Prager, all these big minds. He is what he is. He's a simple dude, but I love in a simplicity. He's attracting a certain good energy from everybody. He can be with anyone and get a good vibe. And one of the things he spoke about, which I think is a great advice, I spoke about it once the other way around. When you wake up in the morning, and he also speaks about this, and lots of other people, and the Shulchan Aruch speaks about it. The idea when you wake up in the morning, Moda'ani lefanecha, that you should just be thankful that you're alive, you're breathing, and not only that, thankful that Hashem believes in you. He believes in you with tremendous emunah. Hashem himself has tremendous emunah in you and me to come back to life in this world again another day. So that's the morning. So my Rebbe, the Tolner Rebbe, told me that I should thank Hashem for my soulmate. That would be the next thought, the next prayer. So I look to my right, and I say, thank you Hashem for my wife. And then that's already started. And now, I mentioned it a few classes back, should thank Hashem for my children. And then should, whoever doesn't have children, thank Hashem for my friends, for my network, for my sphere of influence, whatever it is. Thank you Hashem for a Emuna class, whatever. So you go through the day with a more gracious mindset. Now, what he said, Lewis Howes, was the next level, and I never thought about it, because Kriya Shema, if you go into the Siddur and look at the Arizal, and it's quite heavy, you go into bed, you read the Garden of Emuna series, there's a book there called The New Light, and the whole idea of sleep, and there's quite a high level, what the whole approach of how you should look at sleep, and you look at Rabbi Arush's book there, and it's an intensive understanding of what sleep really is. But just on a more simple level, because once again we want to go back to basics, before you go to bed, I was thinking, my wife and I, we're going to do what Lewis Howes is. Good idea. What did he say? He said you should spend, 50 minutes or something, before you go to sleep. No news, no negativity, no movies, no nothing. Just you and your soulmate, or you and Hashem, if you're by yourself, or you and your friend on the phone, whatever. You should go and you should spend the last few minutes before you fall asleep and enter the world of sleep. You should just spend that time to say thank you for all the good things in the day that you had. You're healthy, thank God. You went through the coronavirus. My Rebbe said in Shul this Shabbos, I told the Rebbe, he's my Rebbe. He said to me and to the whole group there, he said, we have to say Mizmor LaSoda, just like Rav Arush always says. Rav Arush and Rav Tolna Rebbe, exactly the same point. Mizmor LaToda, to say Psalm 100, to say it over and over. Rav Arush has been saying this for years and years, and said to the Tolna Rebbe, he wants every child, every person to be able to say Mizmor LaToda, to say the Psalm 100, to say it with thanks. And if you go into it, and to learn it, to read it, to sing it, to dance it, and Rav Arush has been doing this, thank God, for years. So obviously the Tzaddikim, they're all like tuned into that realm of gratitude. But the idea is before you go to sleep to do it. This is the concept of Lewis Howes, a friendly guy from LA, says that we should say before we go to sleep, just sit with a person you love, or as I said, on the phone, or with a person, or Hashem, however you have that last connecting moment before you go to sleep, and to say thank you. You're healthy, we said. Not just healthy. You got amazing eyesight, or you got okay eyesight, but you can see the wonders around you. You can hear the wonders around you. You can touch, you can taste, there's so much to thank. Like there's a whole beautiful sefer called Chovos Levovos, Obligations of the Heart. And over there, if you've ever listened to a rabbi called Rabbi Avigdor Miller, he makes a very simple understanding of when you walk into a fruit shop, how you should view it. All the fruits that are around, all these wonderful fruits, not all these fake fruits that they make nowadays, but like real fruits, like a normal fruit shop that back in the day, or even nowadays, thank God in Israel, I think there's somewhat still real fruit, still real vegetables, all the colors and the life and the energy that's in the food and the taste, and you can just go through so many things again and again. We just appreciate on a simple level how wonderful all these things are, to just make our life more appreciative. Like we just had cheesecake on Shavuos and all the other things, grapes, and we had iced coffee and all those other nice things that we had, and meat that we had after in the second Suda, to take that energy that we got, that appreciation for life. There's so much wonderful tastes around us, and not to, God forbid, to get like pulled down by the fact that, there's so much pain and there's so much. There is a lot of pain, and right now there's a lot of anger, and I just don't think it's worth giving any fuel to the fire out there. It's not going to help. You're not going to solve it by fighting it out on Twitter or on Facebook comments or anything like that. It's not going to solve the fire that's out there. You've got to create an opposite light of love and compassion that we talked about. That's really our purpose in the world. That we can't overcomplicate our minds with all the different opinions and different ways of thinking. Keep it very simple, and that would be the same with everything we do in our Judaism. Yeah, there's so much like things that we can just do. Like Rav Simaya once said. Simaya Shlita, he said, Silverberg, he's a very special rabbi I was connected to for many years, very holy person. He once said that the Shulchan Aruch, if you lay it out, what does it mean? A laid out table. That's the halakhic book for the Jewish people. It's a simple book. It's not complicated. If you lay out most of it, it's simple. Majority is not arguments. It's not complicated backs and forth. Majority is just a simple way how to live your day. To connect into the Torah, to understand every day there's a Kabalos HaTorah, there's a receiving of the Torah, to say Birkas HaTorah, to go through the prayer service, to understand you're going up in levels, purifying yourself. Not so complicated. You come down back into the world. You have to make a living, so you got to make a living honestly, and there's a lot of laws how to make it honestly. But bottom line, if you don't know anything, you can always ask a rabbi, or you can look it up. There's so much opportunity to make things more simple. Like you're about to say something to someone and you know it's going to trigger them. Don't say it. Otherwise you're going to spend hours. Like Gedalia Fenster, we've just been putting, thank God, Gedalia Fenster's back on our channels. We got him on the YouTube, we got him on the audios. You guys, Gedalia Fenster keeps things very simple. Very simple sayings. I once spoke with him. We were in Miami walking around together on Shabbos, and we were chatting, and his simple sayings are jewels. Just having clear, simple, we said the other day, to not sin is to win. You're like, just tune in, like whatever, like things that stick in your head that make you more inspired, that give you more of an energy, a feeling to your day, a feeling of love and appreciation. We're all like in this world together, so let's like tune in to that simple joy, that simple fun of a child. We've got people around us, they're trying to get our attention just for love and some positivity. Give it to them. A child draws a picture. Be like, oh my God, there's so much joy and simcha and in that simple picture. Or there's so many other things like a simple smile, a simple message you can give to another person. You can give some encouragement, some love. Let's turn around all this hate building up with some love and some appreciation. Like we posted the other day, there's never enough to say thank you, as a video from Arush, and there's never enough to say thank you. You can just constantly say thank you Hashem, thank you to the people around you. Today we're going back and forth with Nissim Black. Thank you Nissim, thank you Eli. Like back and forth, just be thankful. Like we're all here to help each other. We're not like going to win by like being one up on someone, like being getting more likes or more famous or anything like that. It's not going to help nothing. The only thing that's going to help us is if we have true to the true values that we have in the world. And we spoke about this, having that value system, that win-win, that constant awareness of reviewing your mission in the world. What we spoke about, Kabalos HaTorah is a clarification of that, and that's on, like we said, it's on a daily level. It should come into your life on a daily level to remind you, ground you. What are your values? Yeah, we all need to have some sort of salvation. Everyone right now needs it. I need it. I need salvations. You want to help? We've got plenty of ways you can help. Everyone out there can help spread the message more and also be part of the charity, because obviously, living in Eretz Yisrael, the big part of it, it's always been that way for a reason. As big as the high-tech industry gets here and blah, blah, there's always going to be people in Eretz Yisrael going to need charity, because it's a merit for the world to support to bring their money from outside Eretz Yisrael, bring it and put it into and invest and plant themselves through charity into Eretz Yisrael. That's a tremendous merit. It's not that we're so desperate and needy. No, it's a merit for everyone else to have that opportunity to be part of this ultimate picture of what this holy land is about and what being part of the Jewish people is about. So how does this tie into Balos HaTorah? Balos HaTorah, this parsha, is a very complicated, a lot going down. Yeah, you start off with the menorah, beautiful light. Aaron Cohen keeps things simple, does what Hashem wants. V'yasu Kain Aaron, he did exactly what Hashem wants, kept simple. Have the Leviim, very busy with singing and doing their avodah of helping with the Beis Hamikdash. And then you have, as the parsha goes on, Pesach Sheni, there's always a second chance. Okay, and it starts to get a little bit labeling now with these big nuns and the nisyonos, the challenges, and then the people are complaining and things going on, and Vihim and Torah, and there's a lot going on. It's like a new parsha completely, and then another parsha after that, and there's a lot of deep stuff going down, and with the man and this and that, and everyone's having a hard time with the meat, and and trying to get to Eretz Yisrael, and it's such a challenge, and there's a lot going down. And then the coming weeks, we're going in the Parshas Shlach, and it gets a little bit, like we are going to have to really work on our Emuna, on all these things. These are real challenges we have with how we make a living, how we feel about Eretz Yisrael, to have a Emuna that Hashem there is shefa here, that there's blessing. It's not just always a challenge, and people talk that way, but it's actually a land of blessing and goodness, and it's more beautiful than anywhere in the world in the true sense. And then we have also, there's an opportunity during these weeks to really work on our love for other people, because we know that with the Lashon Hara at the end of the Parsha, we know that with Miriam, that's something which is a big challenge for all of us. If Miriam had a hard time, one of the holiest women in history, and Moshe Rabbeinu was talked about, and Aaron Cohen also, and it was a complicated scenario, and that land, the big leaders spoke about the land in not such a great way, and there's always these kind of challenges in this way. So everyone in their levels having that challenge. And God forbid on our videos or our media, we should speak not good about anybody or anything. We should always keep it on a positive way, positive direction, and that is in itself just having those simple values and mindset of positivity, that back to basics way of being, of just simple life, not needing a swimming pool in your house, not needing a fancy car, not needing simple and physical levels, not needing fancy clothes. Like, I'd like to have a little bit, it's all right. Just be happy. I got glasses, they work. Okay, maybe one day I'll get new ones. For the meanwhile, Baruch Hashem, I can see. So just be happy with the simple things that we got. And I wish everybody, as we're coming to an end, so it's been a bit longer, the class, apologize, but I wish everyone, by tuning in, like Rav Arush is a tremendous teacher on this level of being able to just teach simplicity and Emuna, and all of you guys can tune into that. Thank God we've got lots of classes. We've got Rav Diane Elgrod continuing with the halakhic class to be able to keep guiding us with simple laws and guidance. Rav Diane Elgrod, Daily Halakhic Corner. All of you, please share those videos. We want to grow this network so it can really achieve to its its fullest. Thank God we've got Rav Yonason Galed back with his Universal Emuna series, giving over Rav Arush's simple, clear, and simple doesn't mean less. Simple is actually the highest. Simple is the deepest. If I would tell you, just we'll end off with this point, to be able to live that joyous life that we're all looking for, that fulfilled life. If you understand that all the Torah, with all its umkus and depth, and all its thousands of pages and learnings and rabbis and deep secrets and rebbitzins and holy teachings and stories and all the wonderful things that are within this deep world, it would come down to simple truths, and you can just solidify and live a simple, true life. That is the goal of it all. It's just to come out with that pure, simple explanation of clarity, of connection to godliness, to love God, to love to His Torah, to love people, the world, to love mankind and humankind. Sorry, still got to be PC even now. So we've got to love everyone and bring out that goodness in the world. And the people, God forbid, who are playing around, please God, Hashem should, protect us from them. And they, hopefully they'll do tshuva. And if they've learned some Torah, the Torah itself, as we said at the beginning and near the middle of the class of Rabbi Nachman, the Torah itself, Mashivas Nefesh, will restore the soul. It will bring back everybody. And just by the fact that there's so much awareness now of Torah and spirituality, the whole world in itself is slowly now, the teachings of the Baal Shem Tov is Yotzai, is spread out everywhere, will come to everybody, and there'll be a yichud, a unified, a simple oneness, a pshut echad, like oneness, a simple clarification of the whole world of how one we are, and there's nothing to fight over, there's everything we need. We should be blessed with all these good things, and I'm looking forward to another Emuna class next week, next Monday, please God, 2 p.m. Eretz Yisrael time, and it's going to be the Emuna time class, that's it, no more Corona, Emuna time.